If I were to ask a random person on the street, what is the best way to improve our financial situation, what do you think they would say? Maybe get an education, use coupons, invest in real estate. There are a lot of ways to impact our finances, but today I'm sharing one way that is often overlooked, but it has a huge impact: getting organized. And when I say that, what I mainly mean is creating a command central that we teach here. But today I'm sharing 5 very specific ways that creating your system is going to impact your bottom line. I kind of can't believe I'm recording a video about this because about 15 years ago, I was at a conference and the speaker said, okay, I invite everyone to think about your greatest weakness, essentially so we could connect their higher power and get help with that weakness. But the one that I wrote down was money. I just felt like earning money, managing money, figuring out how to do anything with money was just my biggest weakness. Fast forward about a decade of a lot of work and prayer and a lot of effort that Eric and I put into strengthening our finances. And we were able to go visit Dave Ramsey at his recording studio. And we're kind of private people, so we didn't want to go on the radio and do the debt-free scream. But we sat with him in between his radio sessions and he came out and we did a debt-free whisper. It felt so good to be completely out of debt and to be able to know that we could manage our finances really well together. And the 5 things I'm sharing today had a great impact on that. First, when you're organized, you create solid routines. And often to actually make a change in our financial situation, we need to do things consistently. And that's why routines are so helpful. Just a couple of routines that were really helpful for me and Eric is first, budgeting. Learning how to sit down, we started to identify the money we were going to give. We tithe and we give to charity. The expenses that we'd already decided, so things like our insurance payment or house payment, things like that. And then what items we had a lot of flexibility around where we could really impact how much or how little we spent each month. Just being able to sit down and budget and have that accountability made a big difference. Another is tracking our spending. So I had a little page at the front of my planner, and every time I paid for anything, whether it was online or in person or cash or with a credit card, I would write it down on my little sheet and make sure that I recorded every little cent that I spent. That basic routine and accountability was awesome. In fact, one time I was at a store and as soon as I bought my groceries, I opened up my planner and I wrote down what I spent, and the cashier said, wow, that's such a good idea. I should write down what I spend too. I just get a bunch of receipts and throw them in my purse. So being able to create routines that help you stay on track is number 1 that I highly recommend. Number 2, when you're organized, you can have a beautiful, clean environment where things don't get buried. We have an amazing community at Learn, Do, Become. And as we help people build their systems and start going through their piles and stop drowning in them, we find that our community discovers checks, cash, gift cards, so many things that are of a financial benefit when they're unburied. One person shared that when her mother-in-law passed away, several boxes were given to them and they just stuck them in the garage. And then she went through our program and started learning how to get out of piles and found there was a $17,000 fund for their children, the woman's grandchild, that she had left and never told anyone about. So if they hadn't gone through those piles, that $17,000 just would have sat there, I don't even know how long. Plus, when you don't bury things, you also aren't then buying duplicates because you can't find the originals, and you're not going to have late fees because you're going to be able to see the bills as they come in. But just learning how to clear piles, it's going to help you find and prevent the loss of so much money. Number 3, when you're organized, you're able to create a very focused list of projects. Projects we also refer to as multi-step tasks. Those are the kinds of things that often just get postponed or procrastinated because they feel overwhelming, there's so much to do. But when you can identify projects that will actually impact your finances and you have confidence you'll get them done each month, it's amazing. I'll share a few examples from our community and our own life. So first example, there was a woman who wanted to turn a room at their home into an Airbnb. And they knew the goal, but it just kind of felt overwhelming. But they learned how to stop drowning in the piles, they learned to work in microbursts, and were able to transform this room into this beautiful place that now is generating income for their family. A second example, Eric and I wanted to start investing. And investing just felt so overwhelming to me, and he knew a lot more, but he didn't want to do it without my buy-in. So we created a project to start looking into some specific investment opportunities. I started reading some of the books that Eric had recommended. We looked into some of these things and actually then were able to start doing just a little investing at a time, but it became something that just didn't feel overwhelming. And then that has helped us to be able to grow the money that we save. Example number 3 is you may want to start a business or add to a business. And we run a company here at Learn to Become, our community that we love. A couple of years ago, we needed an idea that was going to give the business a little boost. And so I sat down and I put together a new idea for this special 4 weeks to finished STEP program. And it was using our existing program that we have, but it was more coaching and support. And so I got out a piece of paper and I wrote down exactly what it would look like and how we would articulate the offer and how we would over deliver and do a great job. And it was really fun to be able to create that project that was able to fuel the business, serve our community, and just turned out being an amazing experience. Number 4, an organized mind provides more space for additional education. Now that could include books or courses, or it could be you get a certification or even an extra degree. And sometimes just having those certifications or additional degrees will help raise your pay. Or sometimes you're going to get ideas as you learn that can help you either in something entrepreneurial or something that will add more value to the organization where you're employed. But just being able to be a learner and have capacity and not feel like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't learn. But instead you're thinking, no, I'm going to continue to increase my skills and abilities that I can then bring to the marketplace. That's been a huge boon and a support for us. Number 5, when you're organized, you have more defined goals that help you to manage your energy, your time, your possessions, all those resources, and you'll make more deliberate decisions. Some of these decisions might include buying what you actually need or planning ahead so you don't buy things you don't need, setting boundaries so you don't overextend yourself, having confidence in your planning and projects and routines, and not jumping from thing to thing to thing. A weight really does come off your shoulders when your financial life is in order. We then have the ability to donate and support others and be able to use our energy on the things that are going to really contribute to the world. So I hope that these ideas are helpful to you. I know I always talk about building this command central and say it's going to change your whole life. It's going to solve every problem. And of course it doesn't solve every problem, but it really does help us to be able to manage the things that are on our plates and to be able to be really deliberate with this life that we get to live. If you want to learn more about building the whole command central, please do take our free training. We have it linked in the description, How to Finally Stop Drowning in Piles. It's so good. We want you to come in, learn 4 simple steps, and get that relief. All right, we'll see you soon at Learn to Become.